All right, welcome back to the Roommate Humanities vlog. I am continuing my long journey through my fantasy glossary. We ended last time on Goblin, and when I was talking to my wife later that day, she pointed out to me that I forgot something fairly significant. Harry Potter also has goblins. In this world, they are covetous, they are greedy, they run the banks, and they are also master craftsmen, crafts goblins. Um, they make magical items. I particularly like how Rowling discusses how they think of possession differently than we do. I thought that was a particularly interesting part of the story. But it might be a spoiler, so I won't get into it. Next on my list, I have Gollum. Now, Gollum is a character from The Lord of the Rings, and I don't know if he is an archetype. I don't know if he's a type of character, or at least enough of a type of character to think of as an archetype. I will say that there's a character named Gurgi in Lloyd Alexander's the Book of Three, who is very Gollum-like. Like he's small and he's savage and he's cruel, but he's also very funny. And I think he's funnier than Gollum is. But I definitely think there's an effect where the protagonist shows kindness to a small, savage monster, and in this way earns its friendship and trust, and at the same time earns the reader's friendship and trust. Like it's how we know that Frodo and Taran are passionate, compassionate people. Anyhow, Gollum, he's also a corrupted form of something that we think is good. Next on my list, I have Gollum, not Gollum from The Lord of the Rings, but like the clay man in Jewish storytelling. These are a lot of fun. I mean, it's an artificial life form that is brought to life by magic or enchantment. I'm particularly fond of Terry Pratchett's treatment of golems. In his piece, they're literally clay people that are brought to life by magic words being put inside their heads. I think it's very, very interesting, and it has some great storytelling there, especially stories like Feet of Clay and what's the one where he takes over the post office? Going Postal. Good piece. All right, next up on my list is gargoyles. Now, gargoyles are kind of like a feature of Gothic architecture where they would put horrifying monsters in stone shape on buildings. They often depict monsters that we would think of as being parts of fantasy. A lot of mixed monster body parts, like bird faces and lion bodies and whatnot. They're meant to be terrifying and a little bit scary. I think your Gothics found them to be kind of exciting. In some stories, they come alive. I honestly don't know if I've read any, though. I don't know if I've actually read a story where gargoyles come alive. There's that fantastic cartoon show from the 80s and 90s called Gargoyles. It's very good. I'll see if I can throw up a graphic of that. Next on my list is ghosts. Ghosts are interesting. Whoa, I got 2 minutes. It's probably all going to go to ghosts. Okay, so different cultures have a different understanding of what a ghost is, but most cultures explore what a person is like after their body dies, but they themselves somehow remain around. It's really, really interesting. So the Western ghost, I think of being around for three reasons. Okay, so maybe the person who died such an unusual or tragic or horrific death that somehow the act of their dying traps their spirit or their essence in our world. The second way that I think of ghosts is the idea of a ghost who has some sort of a task or a mission or a responsibility that was so powerful to them in their life that even in death, they can't escape it. So they're bound to the earth somehow, their spirit, their essence, until whatever it is they needed to do is resolved. And the third kind of ghost I sort of think of as being sort of like a place ghost. Like they were in a place for so long that even though they're dead, they can't leave the physical location. And I think that's all very, very interesting. Now, ghosts in stories, it's kind of the same thing as with enchantments. Like a ghost can be freed from this world and allowed to die, and I don't think the story is done until they are. Anyhow, research ghosts are very, very interesting. Next up on my list is ghoul. A lot of people think of a zombie as a kind of ghoul. According to my understanding, a ghoul is merely something that eats the dead. So either they're alive or dead themselves, but they eat corpses. And finally on my list, I have giant. Giants are great. I mean, same thing with flying. If you want to make something more powerful, just make it really, really big. There's a lot of really great giants storytelling. I love how giants in Greek mythology also tend to be smiths. I like how they tend to build things. Um, Giants in medieval storytelling. I mean, you get like the story of the Brave Tailor. You get Jack and the Beanstalk. And in all these cases, I kind of feel like giants are simultaneously like a savage, cannibal, anti-societal force, but at the same time, they're also like representative of like an aristocracy or a higher up power. They're made to be destroyed. They're not friendly characters, and heroes are sort of tasked with defeating them. Like you don't get a good giant, not really. I mean, I think there might be one or two in the Chronicles of Narnia, but I mean, they're the exception. That's actually 6 minutes. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Join me next time for H.